back, my brothers and sisters. So there's this thing I did recently where I wanted to be 6 months ahead of my bills in case anything bad happened. I got 6 months to catch up on it. Now, before we get into that, theme music. How to get 6 months ahead of your bills? Step 1, budgeting. I created this chart so everyone can see what you need to do to get 6 months ahead of your bills. So there are actually 7 major categories that I break everything I want to do down into. House, food, car, savings / vacations, fun money, emergency / health, and retirement. Now, also what I like to do is I divide everything up on different debit cards. If you guys have credit cards, you can do that as well. I don't trust myself with credit cards, so I always use debit. So anything to do with my home, I have all on one card, like utilities, cable, internet, rent, so on and so forth. Same thing for food. Everything to do with my car, savings, fun money to spend for just me, whatever I want to do, health, emergencies, or retirement. So each of those things I have on separate debit cards, so that way it's a lot easier to budget. So I'm less likely when I'm going out with friends to accidentally use my gas money to buy a couple of drinks or go to the movies or splurge when I'm going shopping, because everything's on a separate card. House bills. Now you're going to break down every single thing you can possibly think of that you spend every single month on your home. So that's water bill, gas, electric, toiletries, cable, subscriptions, internet, rent or mortgage, maintenance, whatever it is. You will list that here and then break down how much you think you spend on it monthly. Now, as you see here, I added everything up and this adds up to $1,305. So if you divide that by 4, and of course, if you guys are bi-weekly, divided by 2. So $326.25 is how much money you need to save every single week in order to actively pay for your bills on time every single month. Now, I know that seems like a lot, especially if you don't make that much money to begin with, to save that a week. But this is the reality of how much it's actually going to cost you to get ahead. So you have to keep in mind that everything for your house, it costs this number right here that you came up with. Food. Now this category is incredibly easy. There's only 2 subcategories: food for the entire house, and that includes any specialty items. And then the second category is snacks and desserts. So any special scrumdiddlyumptious snacks you like to sneak away every month, you'd add that in there as well. And remember, this is just what you think you would be spending every month. And for this one, I would recommend having 2 separate numbers. A high number and a low number. So on a good month when you're balling in dough, pick a number that you think you'd be spending on all these items, and then pick your low ball number, a number where you can sufficiently get everyone fed for that entire month, okay? So with the $300 for the house and $50 a month for snacks, that comes out to about $350 a month that I would be spending on food. You divide this by 4, that comes out to $87.50 per week. Yes, when you think about how much this costs, add it with the house expenses, that does seem like a lot, which is why a lot of people are struggling and why some people are on government benefits. But again, this helps you get a really good picture of how much you're actually spending every month and every week. So if you make really amazing paychecks, this is fantastic for you. All you need is learn how to budget better, so all your expenses are all in line at all times. Car bills. Now this is the third and most important category for those of you who has lost a car before due to not being able to pay, repossession, or someone just went and totaled it, or you totaled it. We all know how badly that hurts when you suddenly don't have a ride to get things done or go where you need to do and all that jazz. Now there are 4 subcategories under the car bills. Gas, obviously, car note, insurance, and miscellaneous. That's for getting new wheels, oil changes, paying for new IDs, and any other car maintenance that you will need to do. It's always important to put money into this pot, so when something arises out of nowhere, you'll always have something in the side. Especially things like surprise parking tickets. Everyone hates those. So when I add everything up, it looks like it totals about $635 a month for me to even have a car. And if I divide that by 4, it goes down to $158.75 per week. And so far, that's a total of $572.50 between those 3 categories that you have to save every single week in order to have your bills paid on time. Now, obviously, that's a lot, especially if you have kids or if you're taking care of someone else in your family and they cost a lot, or if your job simply just doesn't pay enough, or if you're in school. I get it. We've all been there. But at least now you know for sure how much it's going to cost you to actually have a stress-free life. Now, what I actually did, obviously it's too late for some people, but when I was working on getting my very first car, I actually extended it for a couple more months until I had 6 months already saved up before I got my first car. Obviously, if you already got one, it's a little too late for that, but that's what you're trying to do now. Because I like paying my car insurance 6 months, every 6 months, and that's actually what I've done 100% of the time I've owned a car. Because it depends on which insurance you had, you actually get an extra discount for paying that far in advance. Now, your miscellaneous category is where you add anything additional that's specifically unique to your household, like multiple cell phones, kids, if you have schooling, or maybe you pay for private schooling for your kids. Are you in major debt? Any special activities that you feel like you have to go to on a regular basis, etc. Anything like that. And you make the same list like we did previously. Savings and vacations. Now, this is the fun category. Now, this is what you would like to spend all your hard-earned cash for, things that you actually want and not things that you need. So I just constructed a bunch of random scenarios that some of you may have, whether you want to start investing in things, you and your family are trying to get your new or your first house. Maybe you want a new car. Maybe this is your first car. Any big vacation like I did. I've been to Dubai, Hawaii, I went over to Canada, and this year I'm going to Aruba and the Bahamas. And in 3 years, I plan on doing a 3-month tour in Europe. So whatever it is that you want, this is where you would put here. And remember, these are not things that you need, it's things that you want. Now, these aren't necessarily my goals, but these are just goals I think some of you might have. And yes, this is much harder to obtain, especially once you pay all your bills, but that's the point of goals. You strive towards it. And the same formula applies. You add it all up, you divide it by 4, and that's how much you would need to save within a week. Fun money. Now, this is the category that I love the best, and I'm sure you're going to love as well. Now, usually what I do with this category is whatever is left over from car bills, household bills, food, and savings, whatever is left over, I usually use that as my quote-unquote fun money. I usually use that as my own personal funds. And I can just simply go nuts and do whatever I like with it. I can hang out with my friends, go out to eat every night, go on little mini vacations over the weekend, or take a day off from work if I can afford it, and just spend the day going to the spa or going to the beach, doing whatever I feel like. Or any other random thing, like buying a bunch of random stuff on Groupon or Living Social, or taking a day trip to the mall and going nuts. I've done all of those, especially during the months where I worked extra hard and made hella amounts of money. Yeah, you don't understand. Life officially gets good for you when you can walk into a store, not look at any prices, go to the register, feel shocked and appalled by the number that the register person dared to tell you, and you still give them your credit card or debit card, buy everything, and walk out of the store knowing all your bills are paid for this month and the next couple of months, so it doesn't even matter. I've been there. I've lost it all. I went back there. I've lost it all. And the process just repeats until one day I get to a place where I don't never lose it all ever again. And I'm pretty much on my way to there right now. Now, if you guys don't want to use my method, which is whatever is left over, I use that as fun money. You can do the same thing we've been doing this whole time, where you set aside a specific amount of money that you would like to use to just have fun with and actually enjoy life. But remember, this has to be your last category, because your car bills, your house bills, and food is an absolute must. Those are the top three: emergency and health. Now, this is a account that I'm sure everyone wishes they had, but most of us don't. I definitely made sure that when I graduated from college, I was always going to have an emergency account no matter what. And I kept true to my own word. I kept that promise. This is anything that's an actual emergency, and no, ladies, fashion does not count. And no, fella, new rims and fantasy football does not count. Neither does certain nightclubs, and y'all know what I'm talking about. This is for car troubles, tickets, court fines, replacement of things you've lost or been broken. If you type of person who are sick or someone in your family sick, so any type of medications, lawsuits, etc. But again, this is for actual emergencies and for anything related to health. So you cannot use this to go have fun or go on vacation. This is specifically for emergencies, because I can tell you I've been in more than enough situations that were very unfortunate. Most of the time it wasn't even my fault, but this account definitely got me out of those situations, and I just kept going, saving, and was still on target. Retirement. Now, for those of you with a good job, you're definitely going to be able to do this, and you should definitely do this. Those of us who are not so fortunate, this most likely is not even on your mind. You're not even thinking about this, but you should. They say that you should start working on your retirement fund the latest at the age of 30. But of course, a lot of you probably are over that age, or life just kind of got in the way and you don't got time for it, and that's fine. But you should start to have this in the back of your mind, at least for those of you who cannot afford it at the moment. But for those of you who can, definitely start working on this. I myself is getting on board with this as well, because with the way things are going, there might not be no Social Security for us old folks. So you always need to have your own backup plan. Not all of us are going to end up marrying a sugar daddy or sugar mama. Alright, I'm just joking. Sort of. Now, I know all of my examples and aspirations, guys, are pretty grandiose, but that's what I'm here for, to show you what you can and will do and replace it with what you have now. And I hope you guys enjoyed it and loved it tremendously. Step 2. Making some extra cash. Now, we all know how to make some extra cash, whether it's overtime, a second part-time or full-time job, selling things online, downloading apps that give you money when you upload things. There's lots of various different options. Now, this step is key if you're not making that minimum $572.50 per week. Now, if you got a household with 2 parents, or just a boyfriend and girlfriend with no kids, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't at least bring in minimum $600 a week. And whether you have kids, don't have kids, you gotta take care of older, sickly parents, whatever it is, at least now you know what the minimum amount of money you need to actually live and survive in this world. And yes, the cost of living, just to live on planet Earth comfortably, is expensive today. And a lot of jobs are just not paying, even if they can afford it, which sucks, I know. And now you can sit there and think, okay, I only make about $402.18 after 40 hours and taxes are taken out. I now know I need at least $572.50. So now what you need to do is calculate how much overtime or how much things you need to sell on the side, or donations, garage sales, whatever it is, how much more money you need to sell or things you need to do, donate, overtime you need to do every single week to get to that $572.50, so you know every single month your bills are on time. Now, this is a little crazy, but this is exactly what I did. I actually did hella overtime, and I got a second job because I had goals, I had dreams, I had aspirations, and luckily for me, I don't have any kids, so it makes it a little bit easier, but you can still do this with kids. I had told friends about this with kids. they can't go as hard as I do with overtime, but they can still do it and get it done. Now, pretty much what I did, like I said, I did hella overtime every single day. I pretty much worked 7 days a week for a couple of months and had a second job. And at the end of that, I was actually making just about $1,000+ after every week for 4 or 5 months. So I was getting hella paid, and I was able to achieve all those goals. Now after that, I was super tired and I couldn't do it anymore, but I met my goal. And I put a whole bunch of money in savings, and I took that money, went to Dubai for 2 weeks to give myself a pat on the back for the good job I did. So this is definitely doable. You definitely can achieve this. You just have to work a little bit extra harder if your main job is not paying your bills. So even if a job is paying you 15 hours, that's still not enough to accomplish all those goals. There's still a whole lot more you're gonna need. But this is what you have to do in order to get there. So this is exactly how I made it to 6 months ahead of my bills. Although I was 2 months away from my goal, and then this guy ran a stop sign, totaled my car, and then a whole bunch of other bad stuff happened. So I actually technically made it to 4 months, but still, I was on my way there, and I pretty much just started right back up again. Now I'm about a month ahead, and I'm just starting all over again because of that incident. Oh, and another good tidbit. Whenever you guys come to one of those months where you're kind of getting 3 paychecks, those are for my bi-weekly people, those are the months where you can actually catch up and get ahead. Because it's almost like getting a free paycheck during that 1 month, because you're getting 3 instead of 2. Same thing goes for my people who get paid weekly. Those last 2 weeks, use those last 2 paychecks to help pay for the next month or catch up on anything else. Those are the months that actually matter the most when you need to catch up on bills. So if this method works out for you, definitely come back to this video and let me know in the comment section. Oh, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Definitely come back for the next video. I have more tips and more travel ventures. Bye. Yeah. Come on, Pamela.